What's happening, people? I'm here with the main man.
It's the champ.
Make sure you tune into Pep Talk UK, where it talks boxing and
big up.
Thank you, AJ.
Pep Talk UK.
Ladies and gents, for the fight fans locked in, for the football fans locked in, now it's time for some real talk on Pep Talk. Let's go.
Everyone talk good game, but it don't really faze me. The man that ain't mad like Max, the way not murky like Ace B. And them got whoop the slide on the back balling like a baby.
Oi, oi. Welcome to the Pep Talk UK Sports Podcast, the podcast that talks the major boxing and football news from around the globe, real points of view from a real panel. Hashtag real talk on Pep Talk. Please subscribe to Pep Talk UK on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share and comment. Now I'm your host, Frankie B, and I'm joined by a couple of good mates of mine. Now, first up, I'd like to welcome the French Pep Talk bad boy, Pascal. How you doing, bro?
Very well, Frankie B. Merci beaucoup. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Everything is going very well. Merci.
Pascal, you want to quickly shout out your social media?
Yes, certainly. My social media is Pascal_the_sad at Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for the follows.
Oui. Right, now I'd like to welcome back once again. It's always a pleasure. It's Benji from Benji's Boxing YouTube channel. How you doing, geez?
It is always a pleasure to be here. The pleasure is definitely all mine, Frankie. Always good to hear from yourself and, of course, Pascal.
Yes, our French man. And even though we haven't had you on the show for a while, we're always watching your videos on your YouTube channel. Always very insightful.
Thank you very much. I'm glad someone's watching.
And Benji, do you want to shout out your YouTube channel and your social media?
Absolutely. On YouTube, I am Benji's Boxing Channel. On Facebook, it's the Facebook page is Benji's Boxing Channel and YouTube. And on Twitter, I am at Benji Boxing.
Cracking stuff. So we move forward. So we're going to look forward to Callum Smith in action this weekend. Now, he won't be facing Jürgen Bremer. He's pulled out of illness. But instead, he'll be fighting a Nicky Holston. Now, Pascal, when I heard the news, I was fairly disappointed. I thought it'd be a good scrap. But Nicky Holston, who are ya? Who are ya?
you know, Frankie B, it's interesting because I was reading on various social media blogs and a lot of boxing fans are not particularly happy at the fact that Callum Smith is fighting a virtually unknown opponent, and it certainly makes his journey to the final a bit more, I would say, favourable than his opponent George Groves, who's had to fight, the likes of Jamie Cox in the recent victory against Chris Eubank Jr. Right. So you will argue that on the basis of performance, George Groves deserves that title. But look, fortune favours the brave. Callum Smith entered the tournament, and he's now facing, a Dutch, from what I understand, an ex-kickboxing champion. He still has to beat the man that is in front of him, and surely the WBSS, probably do rate him. They probably believe that he will be game enough to be an opponent for Callum Smith, so they wouldn't just put him in with anybody, I don't think. So I think it'd be a decent fight. Whether or not we would pay the $9.99 to watch it on ITV, that's a different question.
That's if it works. When you press the red button or whatever. Benji, do you know much about Nicky? Now, like I said, he's unbeaten. Callum Swift's also unbeaten, but the two of them on the world stage are fairly unproven. But does this sort of seem like a pass to the final for Callum Smith?
To answer your original question, I got the same question on Twitter today. Someone tweeted me and said, do you know anything about this guy? And it was a 2-word reply from myself. The first word started with an F and the second word was all. So, yeah. So I'm not going to BS anyone. I don't know much, if anything, about this guy at all. It's a huge shame that this has happened, because I do believe that Callum Smith versus Jurgen Bremen was potentially a very good fight. I felt overshadowed because we were all talking about Groves and Eubank. So I thought it could potentially be a very good fight, a good test for Callum Smith, but he's got to be professional now, because this is part and parcel of boxing. Over the years, through boxing history, we've seen big fights fall apart at the last week, and a stand-in have to come in to make a tournament, make a fight, make a promotion work. And as I say, Callum Smith's got to be very professional, because this guy is unbeaten. He's prepared for someone else, and now he's going to be in front of not the guy that he's prepared for. That can challenge you mentally. And also just getting up for the fight. He can't afford to feel sorry for himself or feel deflated, because this is how upsets happen. So he's got to go about this in a professional manner, look good. And again, if people are paying pay-per-view for this, in my personal opinion, the pay-per-view side of it should be dropped. If someone's bought it, they should be refunded. I think that would be the best thing to do. But obviously, we're in a more capitalistic society than that. And if it makes money, promotions aren't going to be handing that back. It's going to take more than that for refunds to happen. I'll get my words out in a minute. So what I'm trying to say basically is Callum Smith owes it to anyone that is paying pay-per-view for this to put on performance and make sure he gets through to that final. And
even when he gets to the final, if he fights George Groves, if he overcomes injury, he's got to make sure he has his wits about him, because George Groves has that experience. He's going to have to learn on the job, literally.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Callum Smith has got all the attributes. He's huge. He's absolutely huge for the weight.
Super middle.
Massive super middle, good shape and everything, good long reach. All the attributes are there, but as you've very rightly highlighted, we haven't seen that tested yet. George Groves will certainly give that a test, and I'm also be very interested to see how George Groves deals with a guy that's a bit bigger than him and possibly got a bigger reach, and see how that Groves jab deals with that. But of course, Callum Smith's got to get there, and if he thinks this is just going to be a foregone conclusion, then his head isn't in the right place. He's got to be professional, go about this and get the job done, and not worry about any sort of detractors. This is boxing. This is what happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens.
Benji, do you know if anyone's addressed the situation if Groves can't make it? Will that mean Eubank steps into the final?
I've heard no official word of it yet, because from what I have heard is George Groves feels quite positive about his shoulder and it recuperating in time. He said in interviews that he's a quick healer and that sort of thing. And I think
anyone's a quick healer for that type of prize money, mate. I tell you that.
Absolutely. And also, Carl Sauerland, he wants George Groves he wants George Groves and Callum Smith now in the final. It would not do the tournament any good at all if we have Chris Eubank Jr. and Mickey Holtzkin in the final of this competition, because the cruiserweight, let's face it, the cruiserweight has gone absolutely perfectly without a hiccup. So for both weight divisions to get from the start of the tournament to the end with absolutely no hiccups or problems, I think was wishful thinking anyway. So we'll have to wait and see. Me personally, I feel actually a bit confident about George Groves being able to make the final. I think it'll happen. As you say, it's too big an opportunity, it's too big an event, too much money.
but boxing, you know, we must be honest with ourselves. It is no longer the mainstream sport that people think it is. You know, there are other sports out there which have greater popularity, like football, for instance, you know, and MMA and all sorts. So I believe that, you know, the World Boxing Super Series, the spectacle that Benji mentioned, is important because he creates excitement, and also casual boxing fans who don't quite understand what's going on understand that there's a quarterfinals, there's a semi-finals, and there's a final. Therefore, those boxers must be good enough to face each other. And I think that, you know, in the world of all these different belts and boxing bodies and authority bodies, this is a very good opportunity for the best to fight the best.
In some ways, Pascal, do you think boxing's taken a leaf out of the WWF or the WWE in terms of the build-up and the storylines? Because it seems to be going that way now.
I mean, look, for me, you know, Cal Solan reminds me of Vince McMahon, you know, and so you're absolutely correct there, you know, Frankie B. He's an entertainer, and I believe you me, I started to follow him on Twitter and Instagram. To me, he's a legend, you know, and Benji's correct. I would love him to be my friend and to go out on some nights out. He will be absolutely bananas.
Now it's interview time. Now, ahead of this weekend's Frank Warren Bill at York Hall, the boxing nut Shaz, the Pep Talk boy himself, managed to catch up with a few fighters that will feature on the card itself. Now, first up, let's hear from the Wrecking Machine, an explosive fighter. It's Triple D, Dynamite, Daniel Dubois.
Pep Talk UK are joined by a heavyweight sensation, a knockout artist that just blows away each and every opponent he jumps in the ring with. It's Dynamite, Daniel Dubois. Daniel, thanks for coming on to Pep Talk. First question for you is, you've got a fight Saturday night. You're looking to blow away your opponent possibly again. What are your targets in 2018?
Right now I'm focused on this year. I want to get as many fights as I can in this year and move on, win every one of them, and just move on and become a better fighter, and, you know, pick up whatever title or belt I can on the way.
So it's all a learning process. You're not really saying you're going to win this at that day. You're just kind of learning ahead.
No, right now we're learning and just moving on.
And I wondered, is it frustrating at all that a lot of your fights have ended in the first or the second round? Do you ever kind of think, I wish I could have displayed a few more skills later on or anything like that?
Not at all. I go out to win from the very first bell, and if that means I knock out, then I'll take it.
And obviously Anthony Yard looks like he's kind of headlining the show at the weekend. Are you looking to kind of steal the limelight, so to speak, and put on another explosive performance?
Yeah, I want to put on a good performance and overcome this challenge and get through this, and, you know, just move on and just improve as a fighter as I'm doing.
And we had another heavyweight up there, Nathan Gorman.
Yeah.
I just want a quick word on what you think the heavyweight division in Great Britain is at the moment.
It's thriving. It's got a good few challenges in there now, and it's livening up, and, you know, it's competitive.
Now, Daniel, you come from a family background. Do you and your siblings drive each other on?
Yeah, definitely. My brother and my sister, we all feed off each other, and they see what I'm doing. I see what I'm always involved what they're doing. So it's exciting and inspiring. And
how's training been for this camp?
It's been good. It's been different, and I've done a few different things away from the gym, but it's been good. Same as always.
A lot of people don't get to realise the boxing brain you have. You know your boxing as well, not only as a boxer, but you know your background. You know, you do your homework, don't you?
Yeah, but as a young 16 to right through to where I am now, I've always studied the game, and if you want to be good. If you want to be good, you have to put in some time in, and like any profession, you have to study. And if you want to, and I want to go all the way. So. And
how are you dealing with the pressures outside of boxing, the fans, the stardom? Obviously, when you walk down the street, people recognise who you are. You're a big unit. You're hard to miss. How are you dealing with that side of things? Because you are a young man.
I approach it as every day. I acknowledge it and I just move on. I just acknowledge it, I move on, and it's just get on with my life and being the best I can be as a fighter.
Just a quick question, mate. Does the offer of signing with Tyson Fury still stand? I know in the past you mentioned you would be more than happy giving Tyson as far as he makes his way back. Does that still stand?
Yeah, definitely. Getting in the ring and learning a few more things, I don't mind that.
Do you keep in touch with Tyson Fury at all?
My manager does, my management team, they arrange all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Does it excite you that he's on his way back? Is that another name out there that you could probably challenge in the future?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely brings adding to even it's a competitive division, and him coming back, it's going to be good.
You're looking to clean up?
Me? Yeah, definitely. I want to pick up every belt along the way and, go do it the proper way, Southern area, English, British, all of them. So,
every belt?
Yeah, every belt.
Well, we at Pep Talk are going to be watching your journey. Thank you for your time, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you, Triple D. Right, now let's hear from a young, hungry Flash fighter. They call him Brown Flash. It's Zelfa Barrett.
Pep Talk UK are joined by a young man who I consider a prestigious talent, one to watch, and he's already tasted what strap season's like because he's the English featherweight champ. He goes by the name of Brown Flash. It's Zelfa Barrett. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you, man?
I'm well. Now, fight night is upon us. We've been sizing up your opponent. What's going down Saturday?
A great victory for Zelfa Barrett. I know I respect him as a fighter, as a person, a guy, but I'm not here to make numbers up. I've come a long way, and I've got goals that I need to achieve.
An unbeaten fighter, you're touted as one to watch. You've already started showing people what you're capable of. What are your targets? What are we looking to achieve?
I want to be a world champion, and I believe I'm going to be a world champion. Nothing less. I believe I've underachieved if I'm not a world champion.
Now, I was in a three-way conversation a few moments ago with a friend of mine, Umar, Sadiq, and we were talking about your weight and how you look slick already.
Yeah, I'm on weight now. I'm ready. So there's no skipping for me tonight. There's no running for me, treading the weight off. I'm on weight now, and I'm ready. The fight was now. I'm ready now.
How's the camp been? Sparring, training?
Perfect camp. Long, hard, grueling camp. Couldn't ask for a better camp. Ready for 12 rounds, ready for 14 rounds, ready for anything.
I heard you speaking about your opponent. You don't underestimate anyone, do you?
No. To me, he's a world champion. I pictured him faster than me, stronger than me. So when I get in the ring, I'll see. If he doesn't meet my criteria, then he's in trouble.
Winning mentality.
Winning mentality. I picture this guy better than me.
Iconic venue, York Hall. How's that feel?
First time at the York Hall. Well, world famous. Like, I'm excited to fight there. I know it's going to be hot, grueling. The walls are going to be sweating, man. I love them kind of spots, but I'm excited.
And there's a title on the line.
Yep.
A European title.
IBF European title, but to me, titles don't mean nothing. It's about winning.
But a lovely shiny belt.
Yeah, of course, a lovely belt is good, but it's all about winning to me. It can be for a spoon
or a teacup.
Or a teacup. Just about
trying to look at what's in your eye right now.
Yeah, it's just about winning.
But another belt to take home with you.
Yep, of course.
Well, we at Pep Talk are going to be watching you Saturday night. I'm going to be in the crowd. I'm going to be screaming out for you.
Brown Flash. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to quite do the Brown Flash. It depends who's sitting around me.
Yeah.
But again, we like what you've done so far. We reckon you've got the potential to go all the way to the top. Brother, go get that win.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nice one, bro.
Big up, Zelfa. Right. Now let's hear from a heavyweight youngster that's making a lot of waves out there. He's highly respected. It's Nathan Gorman.
Pep Talk UK are joined by one half of the main event, Mr. Nathan Gorman. How you doing, brother?
Good, mate. Yourself?
I'm very well. You're wearing a nice little t-shirt, and an image that's hitting me right in my face is Hatton. What's it like to be trained by the big man or the wee man?
Unbelievable. You know, every interview I do, everyone asks me the same question. You know, Ricky, very, very experienced fella, numerous of world titles, class I, world class trainer. Every day I'm learning something new in the gym with him. You know, he's a perfectionist. I like to think I'm a perfectionist myself. If I do something wrong, he's on my back as well as myself. Unbelievable, mate. He's, in my eyes, and I've been around, the amateur circuit, the Great Britain circuit. In my eyes, he's the best coach I've ever had.
Dominic Akinlade, established top 10 ranked British heavyweight, good fight, 1st of April, Crystal Palace. What can we expect from you?
Well, he's a good fighter, Dominic is. He's just come off a loss. I'm not taking that, lightly. I expect he'd be training as hard as ever. You'd be expecting from me probably the best Nathan Gorman, because I've trained the hardest of my capability. I'm doing them morning runs. I'm doing everything by the book. I'm eating everything perfect. So come April the 1st, it'll be the best of me, you'll see.
Are you treating this as a stepping stone? What's the target? Where do you want to be at the end of this year?
End of this year, I'd like to be knocking on the door of the British title. Dominic's just a stepping stone. I want to get past him, April the 1st, and proceed from there, go on to bigger and better titles.
What's your daily routine like? What are you doing training-wise?
I train every day, apart from Sunday. We roll up at the gym at 11. We do 2 hours there with Ricky. And Ricky's training, mate, is puts you through it. Then we'll go back home, have a sleep or a rest or something. Then we're back in the gym again for 7, doing interval runs. Being heart monitored and that, all different kinds of running.
For the listeners that want to give you a follow on social media, what are your handles?
Me Twitter is @GormanBoxing. Instagram Nathan.boxing. I also have a Facebook page, Nathan Gorman Boxing.
Best of luck on the 1st of April. We at Pep Talk are going to be there. Hope you have a good one, and hopefully this is probably the first interview of many.
Hopefully, mate. Thank you.
Lovely. Cheers, Nathan.
Cheers, bud.
Thank you, Nathan. Now making a return to the ring, it's the guy we call the top boxer, Umar Sadiq.
Pep Talk UK are joined by a man that needs no introduction whatsoever because he likes to introduce himself, or I'd like to give him the honour of introducing himself. Over to you, pal.
Hi, it's Umar, the top boxer, and I actually kind of flunked that one, didn't I?
No, listen, I'm going to do this because that man just flunked that. I'm standing next to a man who's not only a top boxer, he's a model, he's an actor, and he's now got his own blog style page going on YouTube. It's Mr. Umar Sadiq. That's how you do it, pal.
Thank you very much. I just tricked you into doing it anyway.
You're Mr. I do things in one take, innit?
I do things in one take, and I got you to do it in one take.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'll have that. Umar, want to know?
Yeah.
You were supposed to be boxing.
Yeah.
You sat around and waited. How was that as an experience?
It was. I think that's just basically what it was. What you said. It was an experience, and I trained hard, prepared for a fight. Didn't get to fight, but I learned so much. And at this stage of my career, that's what it's all about. So it's the journey, it's the learning process, and in a few days' time, I get to box again. And actually, it turns out I'm going to be boxing the same opponent anyway. So I guess it's just been delayed.
So he just delayed his beatdown.
Basically.
He had a bit of a reprieve for a month, and now he's going to get a beatdown.
Christmas was coming up, and I guess the gods were watching and wanted him to enjoy a good Christmas. But in a few days, the inevitable is going to happen.
Now, outside of boxing, you've been keeping yourself busy. I see you pop up on some comic relief type advert. I've seen some footballer chasing you around for a selfie, David Beckham-esque.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, you said at the beginning, I am also a model, so sometimes I get some really exciting jobs like working with David Beckham, and other times I get things not necessarily exciting but are great to be involved in and make you feel good about, so being part of BBC Sports Relief stuff, and other times I'm doing stuff for some other major brands that I won't mention because they're not paying me right now.
No, that's fair enough. Well, one group of lads that are supporting you, the Pep Talk boys. Now you have to lay it on me as it is. Who would you prefer to have your selfie with? Dave Beckham or Shaz Chowdhury? Which way does it drop? Because I know Shaz Chowdhury comes to your boxing fights. David Beckham not yet.
That's a decision I'd have to sleep on. Joking. Like, we'll take a selfie. I think I got a selfie with you before I got one with Beckham, so there you go.
That's better. That's a more politician's answer. You do want to make it to your fight on Saturday, don't you? In one piece. Otherwise, you're going to have a tough sparring bit now.
Tell you what, you look in better shape than you have done in recent times, so I won't want to be starting any trouble with you.
Right, listen, for the record, New Year's Day I was 80 kg.
Yeah.
Today I'm 73.8 kg.
Yeah, you're looking well. I can see it.
I know, but if you ever need a strength and conditioning coach, don't come to me.
That's a good shot. I was going to say I've already got one, but yeah.
Starving yourself is not the way to lose weight.
No, it's not. And yeah, so that, and which is another thing. I actually feel really great for this. I finished my last hard session last week Friday, where we're midweek now into fight week, and my weight is still dropping, even though I don't even train on a Thursday and Friday or train hard at all fight week, and that's just from having good nutrition, having a good team that guides you properly and have you do things in the right way.
Well, we're going to be there fight night Saturday, watching you do your thing, screaming out like a girl like I normally do.
Oh, please let me hear you.
You'll hear me, bro. Especially if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, you'll hear me loud and clear. No,
that'll be good stuff.
Go get that win, bro.
Alright, thank you very much, man.
Cheers, buddy.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Umar. Go out there and smash it, bruv. Finally, we hear from another talented youngster. It's the man they call the Piranha. It's the super featherweight, Ryan Garner.
Pep Talk UK are joined by a young man whose family keep bumping into me at events, who keep telling me that he is the next biggest thing, and to be honest, I've witnessed it all the way in Leeds. I've witnessed it at the Copper Box, and he's talking over me. It's Mr. Ryan Garner. How you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You?
I'm well. Ryan, first time I'm interviewing you for Pep Talk. You're an exciting little fighter. You don't like messing about, do you? What is it? You get in the ring, you want to smash people out.
That's it. I'm not paid overtime, am I? I'm just get in there, get the job done and go home. That's me.
Now, for our listeners that haven't come across you so far, you're based in the south of the country. You're Southampton, lad.
Southampton, yeah. Born and bred.
Where do you train out of? Who manages you? Who coaches you?
Obviously, Wayne Batten's my trainer. Obviously, and Wayne also is my manager, as well as Frank Hopkins. They both like co-manage me, do you know what I mean? So yeah, just training at Pound for Pound Showground in Southampton near the football stadium. That's it, really.
Oh, you're a St Mary's boy. You're a Southampton boy.
Well, I'm from Southampton. I don't live in St Mary's. I live in Sholing. But so still in Southampton. Do you know what I mean?
Now you've got a wicked nickname, the Piranha.
Yeah.
Where did that come out of?
Well, when I first turned over pro, and I did have a nickname, and I think me and Frank Hopkins, my trainer Wayne, and also Joe Pigford, my stablemate, we was trying to think of something for ages, and at first it was going to be either like Ryan the Lion or something like that. Sort of Frank Hopkins.
I quite like Ryan the Lion.
Yeah, but I think it's too childish. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And then all of a sudden we was thinking for ages, and then just the Piranha come to mind. Obviously it rhymes with my last name, and they're vicious as anything. So it's similar to what my style of fighting is, the vicious. Do you know what I mean? So all in all, it fitted in perfect, and I think it's a crowd pleaser. Everyone loves it, you know, and there's no one ever been called it. So it just was perfect.
You're 6-0 at the moment.
Yeah.
7th fight coming up.
Yeah.
Who's your opponent? Do you know much about him?
Rafael Cantillano, I think his name is. Some Nicaraguan based in Spain. I believe he's a very durable opponent. He's went all 4 rounds with Joey Cordina, who's obviously an Olympian and that. So yeah, he's a tough opponent. So hopefully, if I get the job done on him early, then it's a bit of a statement.
And what are your targets for 2018?
Listen, I've had my last fight was about 5 or 6 months ago. So the first half of this year is just to stay as active and busy as possible. Do you know what I mean? Get fighting again, get that ring rust gone, and then hopefully, you never know, towards the end of the year, obviously Wayne and Frank Hopkins, that they know what's best for me. They're going to guide my career in the right way, and they'll get me the right fights. Hopefully, the end of the year, starting fighting for some sort of title. Hopefully.
Good little venue Saturday night. You're cool.
Yeah, obviously that's where I had my debut as well, about 1.5 years ago. So it's a good little venue, to be fair, and I believe it's going to be packed out this time. I believe so. It's going to be a good atmosphere.
You always have a mini army travelling with you. Have you got a lot of support coming up?
Yeah, I got quite a few. Obviously, it's been a bit frustrating because I was supposed to fight
in Essex at the Brentwood show just before Christmas, and the week before that got cancelled. And obviously I was supposed to be fighting at the Copper Box 2 weeks ago on the 10th, but that got pulled. And so obviously this, it's a bit. It's been a bit frustrating, and obviously not all people can make this one as well as they could the other one. But I've still got quite a few people coming out, and I'm sure they'll be as loud as ever.
Well, I'm there Saturday night. I'm going to be shouting you out.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
I'm sure
it.
your family will be there. I'll have a few bevies with them.
Yeah.
We wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate
Saturday.
it, mate.
Go get that win, brother.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. All the best come fight night. Now it's football time. Now I'd like to welcome back again Kenny Ken. How you doing, geez?
I'm all good. You know, like I said, it took me about 2 weeks to get over the loss of the North London derby. Well, it hasn't quite 2 weeks. It's been, if my mathematics is correct, it's been 11 days. I'm still upset. We lost that.
Mate, I'm screwed, mate. You know, I went there with so much optimism, new signings and all that. We had a good result against Everton the week prior, and I really thought we were going to do a number on Spurs. And the way that we played was just atrocious, mate. It was atrocious, mate. Let's talk about the final. Arsenal versus Man City at Wembley. It's another cup final for the Gunners. Man City flying high at the top of the Premier League. Now, Kenny Ken, aside from the defeat to Spurs that we just talked about, Arsenal have kind of made Wembley a second home. They've been good in cup finals, haven't they?
Well, you've got to realise that Wembley suits the way we play. We like to play a very expansive game, especially in attacking areas. So, and especially in the last third. So, a big pitch like Wembley is always going to suit the way we play. And someone like Mesut Ozil, you know, if you give Mesut Ozil working spaces, he kills you. And it's always going to, you know, have runners. But obviously, the Tottenham game, like I said, excluded. Obviously, it's been a very good game for us. But you know, a team like Man City that attack us, who can basically create attacks from all parts of the pitch, you know, Wembley's going to suit them as well. So, you know, I was watching the debate yesterday with Dennis Wise and Ian Wright.
That's right.
And Dennis Wise came out with a very good point.
Yeah.
That when we play Chelsea, if you stop Hazard and Pedro and probably Willian when he goes on, there isn't much to attack you. But at Man City, if you stop Aguero, you've got De Bruyne, and then if you stop those two, then you've got David Silva. You've got Sane, you've got Sterling. Yeah. They've got about six players who can score goals from anywhere. And you know, you only have to look at the Manchester derby and Otamendi, you know, like I said, you know, I got the winner there. So it's one of those games where Man City, it's basically they're a machine.
But if Wigan can do it, so can Arsenal, right?
Well, yeah, 100%. I think what happens is that it did help when Man City went back and said, "Man, I thought the referee was atrocious." You know, you shouldn't allow yourself to, you know, have your mind changed by the opposition manager. And that's a fact. Everyone on TV saw that Taylor had the yellow card out. It's a fact, and he was writing it down. And all of a sudden, there was a bit of kerfuffle from the Wigan bench, and he changed his mind. I'm sorry. You just can't do that, and you shouldn't let players see that red card. You know what I mean? See that yellow card. Even though it was the right decision, I still think that the way the angle that Delph went in, I would have given yellow for that. But you know, it helps Wigan, and the fact that it helps, it's going to help us. I've actually got tactics for that game. If you can just
no worries. Yeah.
But if you look at the situation, right, Man City haven't got a recognised left back. Obviously, you know, one's got a long-term injury, he's playing Delph there. So basically, if I was Arsene Wenger and I've got my tactical crystal ball, I would basically double up on the right-hand side and say, you know, have Bellerin playing at wing back or right back. And I'll probably play David back. No, not at all. I'll play Danny Welbeck there and say double up, and then try and see if we can create attacks from there. Because I think that's where we can. Man City. I think down Man City's left, that's probably where they're going to be very weak. And I'll be astonished if Arsene Wenger doesn't work that tactical gem out. But I think with Arsene's very much a Teflon man, and I think he's reinvented himself, if you don't mind me saying so, because as we all know, being Arsenal fans, the League Cup was very much an afterthought for Arsenal, and even the FA Cup which he's fallen in love with again, was very much an Arsenal fault.
We've gone full circle, haven't we?
Well,
from the Graham days.
Well, definitely. I think Arsenal's reinvented himself as a cup manager, and like cup competitions have been very good for Arsenal. It's probably given the fans a day out and given them a bit of glory. But you and I know that's not the competition that Arsenal wants to be part of.
So, just a quick prediction for the final. I know you're going to be there.
I think Man City will win about 3-1. It'll be a very good, it'll be a very open and expansive game of football, and it'll be twists and turns. But I think Man City will win. But then again, football's a funny old game. You just do not know. Like I said, they can get an injury. They ain't got a left back. So VAR can interrupt as well. VAR, a player can get stopped. You just don't know. Football's a funny old game.
Yeah. Now, Pascal, in some ways, Arsenal are the underdogs for this final. But sometimes, as we know from the past, the underdogs can come out on top. Wigan beat Man City in the FA Cup final a few years back, and Birmingham produced the biggest shock in the final, and they beat Arsenal. Obafemi Martins in the dying seconds of the game. So it's all possible, isn't it?
It certainly is. I think that because Wenger's never won that cup, I think he will do whatever he can to win it. My only concern is that we still have the addition of Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan. I'm not sure whether Mkhitaryan is cup tied for that particular game, but as far as Aubameyang is concerned, he's still a relatively new addition to the team, and he has to adapt to some of the style of the team. We saw against Spurs that he wasn't given the supply that he needed to make those runs behind the defenders and to trouble the actual defense. But I think that this game will obviously be won by the strikers, and if Aguero gets the supply that he gets from De Bruyne and the rest of his team, I think that Arsenal are in big trouble. The fact that also Manchester City lost, against Wigan in the FA Cup will mean that Pep Guardiola will be far more focused on making sure that this piece of silverware is going back to Manchester. So, believe you me, Frankie B, it will be a very difficult game for Arsenal to win. And I'm just a bit concerned as to whether, we have enough creativity in play to defeat Manchester City. I believe that defensively, Arsenal have got a lot of frailties, and the only reliable defensive player we have is Nacho Monreal, in my opinion, and he's the only one in this current team that could play in any of the top 4 teams. He's been in absolute superb form, but the rest of his counterparts defensively are a bit touch and go. So it would be. Yeah, Koscielny is done. Mustafi, has proven to be unreliable. And unfortunately, Bellerin himself is not quite the talent that we expected him to develop into. So, I think that defensively, it's going to be a very difficult game. Also, I've learned that Ospina will be in goals for that particular game also. So, no Peter Cech, so extra pressure on Ospina to perform. I think that Manchester City will have been just a bit too much for us. For me, Kevin De Bruyne is the guy to watch, and De Bruyne's pass accuracy is exceptional. And if he can find the likes of Aguero or even Sterling, we're in very big trouble. Very, very big trouble.
Big trouble, yeah. Okay, Christophe, well, you know what? I'm going to back Arsenal for this game. I'm going to go for 1-0 victory. We have become the cup team supreme now. So I'll go for 1-0. Kenny Ken's 3-1. Pascal, your score was? Man City, Arsenal?
For me, I do not like to bet against Arsenal, so I still believe that though we are in trouble, there could be a miracle if somebody could walk on water, and I think it could be a 2-1 Arsenal victory.
And a new year, 2-year contract for Arsene Wenger. Right. Right, that's our time. I'd like to thank Benji's Boxing, Pascal and Kenny Ken. Join us again next week for another Pep Talk UK podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave your comments in the box below. Thank you.
Pep Talk UK.